So, The Family by Brockhampton. Did plan to do a full review of this, but very busy of late. So yeah, this is the penultimate Brockhampton album, because of course they did release another one called TM, which review for that will be coming out very shortly after this one will. The Family it's a very good album in my opinion, and I'd say it's probably Brockhampton's most consistent record since probably the Saturation trilogy. Again, that's not to the detriment, like, Ginger is a very good album, Roadrunner is a very good album, and Iridescence does have some great moments and is an enjoyable listen overall, but The Family feels very consistent. It flows very well, it sort of hits the right marks, and it works. It is effectively a Kevin Abstract album. Like, the other members do make appearances, and obviously it's produced by other members of the group, but it's effectively Kevin's album and his sort of story of, like, the band coming together, them developing over the years, them sort of breaking apart as friends and becoming more of a business, and then of course the group sort of coming to an end, but then becoming friends again, I guess. So yeah, and I think it works. Like, a lot of the tracks on here are very short. I think the only one that is sort of like what you would determine as a full-length track is probably the closer, Brockhampton. But it works for me. You know, you've got a few bangers on here, like Southside and Big Pussy. But the majority of this album, it's very deep, it's very emotional, it's kind of a dichotomy of the history of Brockhampton in a way. And as a piece of history and as a piece of music, I think it works very well. I think the production here is very good. It's a nice mixture of sort of more soulful melodic beats and melancholic beats. Again, on the bangers, the more hard-hitting production. The samples are used very well. And yeah, it's a very good listen. I enjoy this project. I'm kind of gonna come back to it now, because when I heard this, I think I was sort of thinking, okay, I'm enjoying this, but also there's the sort of, this is their final release, and I was caught up in the sort of the emotion of that, the sort of like, oh, this band that I really love is that's it. This is the last thing we're gonna get from them. And it's not, as I said, but coming back to it now, I still have that feeling, I guess, that sort of like, it's a shame that these guys grew apart, and that, you know, and from that point of view, it's a shame that sort of the music business drove them apart as friends as well, because, you know, that's a shame. But, you know, this is a good release. It's a good album. And like I said, it's probably my favourite of theirs since the Saturation trilogy, I think, even though it is technically, like I said, a Kevin solo album. But no, it's very good. It hits for the fans. Musically, it's good. I think the shorter track lengths probably puts people off a bit. And it is a short album, but I think it's concise. It gets straight to the point. It's impactful. It's full of stories and passion. And yeah, it's a good album. And it's a nice ending for the group. But not the end. We will get onto that in the next Small Talks.